Hey guys, welcome. Today we're going to be recording a video about, set that up right properly. We're going to be talking about MISFITS 011 because obviously we know 010's coming very shortly, 1 month away. But now I want to talk about 011. What is next for MISFITS? What can they do now? In my opinion, they're using all their good fighters for this main event, this main card. Like, they're treating it like this is the end of influencer boxing. Like, I'm gonna be real, this does seem like this is the last. It's not, it won't be. They'll find their way. They've got their way, but it's just, I feel that a lot of fans are gonna come off for a bit. Like, they're not gonna watch a few fights and cards because they're mainly using all their good ones. But what if I tell you I was wrong? I am completely wrong with that, because there is so many other fighters who could come back. You've got the Thompsons, you've got the Gibbs, you've got Deji. Deji still hasn't had his fight announced. There is one more fight being announced for this card, and apparently the prelims is done. I think Deji's next. But let's talk dates first. Let's talk when this fight could possibly be even happening. Now, this fight I do believe will either be December time or November. They're the last two dates, and they if I remember, Mams saying he wants to do the pro boxing like tournament this year. I don't know if that's still happening. If it is, that should be in November. That will probably be MISFITS 11. But MISFITS 12, which is the one I want to talk about, the one that isn't the pro boxing tournament, could also be an influencer tournament. So I don't want to talk about that. MISFITS 013 though, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. I don't really know what they could announce at any of these, but they could announce literally anything. Now, what do I think could happen in MISFITS 11 if that is a card? Now, if it happens in November, we can't have the prime cards or anyone who fought yesterday on this event, because they haven't had enough time to train. Maybe some of them might be very loony and be like, yeah, you know what, it's been a month, I'm ready to get back in the ring. Respect to if anyone does that. Personally, I'd do that. I have a little video coming out about me later, and things I want to do. But let's get back to influencer boxing, because I'm no influencer. I don't influence anyone. So back to it. Who could fight on this card? Well, you can go through the Josh Bruckners, the Gibbs, Thompson. There's so many names that I could throw out there who could fight on this card. It will probably be a 7-man card, so you'd have 7 fighters on the card. You know, you can't have Salt Pappies, the Slims, the KSIs, the Logan Pauls, but Logan Paul I want to get onto very quickly. After this Dylan Dennis fight, I don't want to see Logan Paul fighting a bum. I want to see Logan Paul fighting Le'Veon Bell. And I think Le'Veon Bell, Gibb, and Deji, if they're not on the prime card, 100% should have their next card. And then, give it a few months, Le'Veon Bell versus Logan Paul. Whew, that'd be a banger of a fight, and that ain't no joke. Le'Veon Bell versus Logan is a fight I want to see, and I know a few other people want to see it too. So, that'd be cool. Slim, Gibb. Who would Gibb fight? Now, I don't know what weight he fights. Cruiserweight? Light heavyweight? Something like that? So, I'm not exactly sure where he fights. So, if he's cruiserweight, him and Josh Bruckner can fight. That'd be a hell of a fight. Because I do believe Bruckner is a cruiserweight. I don't know if Bruckner's retired now, or if he's coming back, as he's just had a baby. So, maybe he'll come back. Deji and Bryce Hall could be main event for this card. You know, and then we can have Le'Veon Bell co-main event. Swarms is taken. Some of the women are taken. Maybe you can have Faith Ordway on the card, possibly. Elle Brooke on this card as well. Barbie, they can get her in. You know, there's so many fighters they can get in on this card. But it's where do they go? It's what is next for MISFITS. Like, where can we go? Women's tag team can happen. That would be... People still clown on women's sports, but I feel like it could be huge with this influencer boxing. So I don't know. They could go anywhere with this card. With the male tournament, they could get people like Hasim Rahman Jr. in. I don't know what weight they'd do it at. Maybe Idris Virgo won't be able to be a part of it. I don't think they'll do it next month. Because Idris Virgo's just fought, and Idris Virgo's one of their guys. Gabriel Silva, 100% should be on the pro card. He should be on the pro tournament, because imagine how many pros this guy could be. We haven't really seen much of Gabriel Silva. He's probably fought before on other cards. I haven't seen him. I've seen him yesterday, and I thought, whew, poor Ben Davis, man. I feel bad for Ben. Ben did not deserve what came to him. But I hope Ben comes back. He might not. He might just want this to be a one and done thing. But Ben Davis, I reckon he should come back to Misfits or Influencer Boxing as a whole. I don't know if you'll ever see Jake Paul on a Misfits card, except for KSI versus Jake Paul, which would be a joint card, which I believe should be like Misfits 15. But what I feel like Misfits should have done is some of these fights that are on the huge card, the prime card, some of them, like the Slim vs Ryan Taylor 2, could have been its own event. Logan versus Dennis, own event. KSI versus Tommy Fury, its own event. You know, there's so many fights. The Astrid Wet versus Alexia Grace, that fight could be on its own separate card. The tag team, I like it being on this. Not a huge fan of tag team, to be honest. Like, nothing wrong with tag team. It's just, it feels like a WWE gimmick, and it's like, I'm not a huge fan of them. But they are very entertaining, so I'll give them that. Even though I'm not a fan, they're entertaining. Chase Diamore versus Tempo Arts, that one should be on this. That one should be on this card. The rematch of Dean the Great versus Wiley Sharks, once again, own card. Kenny versus Anthony Taylor, co-main event. Could be a co-main event of a card, which is why it's good on this card. Whindersson Nunes versus Murray Nate. Now, Nunes is a massive name. Imagine if you stuck this fight in Nunes' hometown. You'd sell out instantly. Like, it'd be, tickets are on sale now. Before you even finish saying the tickets are on sale, people are already buying. You know, there's just a few things you can do. But, you know, you've got the Gibbs, you've got the Jarvises, you've got the McBrooms. You've got quite a few. Jarvis versus McBroom has apparently been rumoured to fight on this card. I've seen some rumours about that. Don't know how true that is. If it is, you've still got the Gibbs. You've still got, I don't even know what, SX versus DTG. Sorry, I keep trying to say it fast. But yeah, like that should be on this card. Because they've got to build up names. That's what they should be doing. But who knows what they'll do. Throughout this week, I'm going to try and get some videos posted about what I think Misfits 11 should be like. Maybe even some posters, pictures, a full fight card. I might even make my own fight card. But that's where I want to go. That's where I want Misfits to go. But it's not up to me. It's up to Mams Taylor, the promoters, KSI, the Soldland brothers. It's up to them. Hopefully I said that right. But it's up to all those guys. I have no idea. But we'll find out eventually. And yeah, I'm excited to see who's on commentary for that, because I think Mams is going to be on commentary for the prelims. Todd Grisham will be there, obviously. Adi Oladipo is going to be up interviewing everyone at the end of the fights, you know, being your countdown and all that. Very entertaining. I feel like they're going to get Michael Buffer back. They're going to get Michael Buffer back for Logan Paul and KSI. Is Dylan Dennis going to appear? No one knows. I think Dennis will be there. I think he will. But I don't think Dennis wins. I will give my fight predictions for this card when we start to get into fight week, which we've got a few weeks for that. But for now, what do we think? What do you guys think? Am I stupid? Am I wrong? Let me know. I will check them out, see what you lot think. Maybe you guys can give me your own card previews and be like, oh, maybe this guy could be on it. Women's, I feel like we do need like a women's main event. I don't think we've had one yet. They should try and build up some women's. Don't make like a full women's card, because people will be like, nah, it's a shit, I ain't watching that. You know? You gotta be very careful with what you do with the women's, because there is a lot of people that don't like it. And you've got to get people into loving it. But the only way you can do it is by giving us entertaining cards like Logan Paul versus Le'Veon Bell. Or Whindersson Nunes versus Gibb. I don't know, just some random stuff. Kenny versus Gibb. That is still a huge fight to happen. But they've said they're not going to make that happen. But maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll get to see Kenny versus Gibb. It depends if they both want it. But apart from that, Alex Wasabi, once again, like, with the tag team, each of these guys, maybe not B Dave, but each of these guys could be a main event. Only because most of them have already been a main event. I'd like to see B Dave as a main event, but it's just, who do you put him against? You know, you gotta be very careful, because some of these guys are just gimmick fighters. Some of these guys are just here for the fans to laugh at and be like, this guy is entertaining. Not to like laugh at, but like laugh with. Because it's like, someone like Chase. I'm not a huge fan of Chase. Some things he's done is a bit, over the top for me. But it's like, yeah, someone like Chase is entertaining. He needs to be in the scene. Maybe to tell him the rules a few more times, but because he might have been punch drunk. But yeah, like, the whole point of influencer boxing was to fight those who you had a disagreement with, and now it's for entertainment purposes. Kind of seems like they're only going for money at the minute. You know, after last night's cards, some of it was like, look, these guys are getting put away too quickly, which means there is a huge mismatch. You shouldn't be putting guys, you should be making them get to the later rounds before they get put away. Like, you want to build up the excitement. So like, who was it? It was like Virus versus, I don't remember who fought, Temple Arts or something. Sorry if I got that wrong. But like, the fight was entertaining. Both of them kept getting put down, and obviously Virus's opponent put him away due to reasons that Viruses have done some things. Virus has probably been banned by now. Yeah. But yeah, you knew, like, Anthony Taylor versus Kenny is one of those fights. Those two both have a chin, and there could be a knockout. That's what you want. You want fights where it's like, there can be a knockout. Doesn't mean that it has to end in knockout. But it's like, there can be a knockout if this guy does this. You know, if this guy works like this, there'll be a knockout. And you don't want it like instantly. I get it. They don't get paid for the time that they fight. They get paid to go in and fight. So it's like, Dean the Great versus Wally Chokes 2 is another great fight, because that fight will most likely end with a knockout. They both got knocked down in the first one. Bit of a weird decision, but it makes sense. I've now understood why that happened. So yeah. But apart from that, we ain't got nothing else to say here. Swarm's One Punch Man. Can he do it again? Well, this video ain't for any of that, but we'll talk about that soon. Apart from that, that's all I've got, guys. Quite excited for the future of Misfits, future of influencer boxing, to see where it goes. And yeah, I personally have no idea what happens next. These are just predictions, some guesses, some I'd like to see, but we will find out very, very shortly. Right after. Now, my only thing is it gonna be right after the Prime card? Like, is it joining the Prime card, or are we gonna have to wait a while? Maybe Misfits are like, oh, we're gonna need a break. But if you look at things that they're trying to compete with, like UFC, Misfits has breaks. UFC never has a break. Like, UFC has a fight every single week. Not only do they have them on weekends, they got Dana White's Contender Series currently on a Tuesday. So, and then they have the main cards each month. I wonder if Misfits is trying to do something like that. But instead of it being like each month is like a main card, they get a few not mismatch cards, but like filler cards, and then they get the main cards. That's what they need to be careful with. Don't look at cards that ain't main, fillers. They need to look at them as like, how can we make this event more exciting? They've been doing very well recently. 008 was a bit boring, you know. It's not like, yes, you know. I say listen to the fans a little bit, see what the fans are saying. You know, if someone's like, I want to see Slim versus Gibb, I understand they're going to try and make that happen because the fans are saying it, and They have tried, I believe, and I don't know who doesn't want it. Maybe there's money issues. I think it was a money issue with Gibb, because obviously that's when you had the come out of nowhere, Kingpin, and then Kingpin went bankrupt, didn't they, recently? But who knows? Who cares? Guess we'll find out eventually. Well, no, not even a guess. We will definitely find out eventually. It's just when and where. But I hope you all enjoyed. I can't wait to see what happens next. And yeah.